Hello bookworms, I'm Becca, and since it is spring, I thought that I would do some book recommendations. I kind of focused a lot of these books on themes of growth or new beginnings. Most of these books have main characters that went through a lot of growth throughout the course of the book, and that is one of the things that drew me to these books in the first place. The first book that I wanted to share with you is one that I just read recently, and it is American Street by Ibi Zoboi. In this, we follow a teenage girl named Fabiola who is immigrating from Haiti with her mother. Unfortunately, her mother gets detained by U.S. immigration, so Fabiola is forced to go live with her cousins and aunt in Detroit and kind of navigate this whole new world on her own, all with the goal in mind of getting her mother back to them. She has to make some pretty difficult choices along the way, and I just really appreciated how not only Fabiola but other characters in her life, her cousins and her aunt, grew from where they were at the beginning of the book. The writing is absolutely amazing. There are elements of voodoo culture interwoven in, which was unique to read about. I loved learning more about Haitian culture, and it made me want to pick up more books by Ibi Zoboi. The second book that I want to share with you guys is one of my new all-time favorite romances. It is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. This centers around 16-year-old Tanner, who's just recently moved to Utah with his family. In his previous town, he was openly bisexual, but now resides in a conservative LDS Mormon town. He has to kind of go back in the closet and keep that part of him a secret, even though his family is still remaining very supportive of him. Everything changes when Tanner starts developing feelings for one of his TAs at school, Sebastian, who happens to be the son of one of the bishops from the local LDS church. And what ends up developing is one of the most pure and beautiful romances that I have read in a long time. It's my new favorite romance. I love Tanner and Sebastian so much, almost as much as I love Simon and Blue from Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. It was so interesting to watch Tanner become more confident and sure of himself, and see Sebastian kind of questioning who he was, and then by the end he had accepted himself and is really standing up to live the life that he wants to live. The next book that I'm sharing with you guys is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wong. This is a graphic novel about a prince whose family wants him to find a wife, get married, have kids, and one day take over the throne, of course, but he has a big secret. And his secret is that each night he likes to dress in drag and go out on the town under an alter ego. So he hires this dressmaker, Francis, to make all of these elaborate gowns and outfits for him. And they end up developing the most lovely friendship ever. It's an unconditional love. They both just care so deeply about each other for who that person is, and I think without that you wouldn't be able to see the growth and acceptance over the course of this book. It's just a really beautiful coming of age story with some gorgeous artwork. Oh my gosh, I mean, the colors alone in this book make it perfect for springtime, don't you think? Next, I have one of my favorite books of all time, and it is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. This is about an 18-year-old girl named Charlotte who is trying to recover from self-harm, from drug abuse, and just a really hard life that she's had. She is learning how to live in her own skin and how to be her own person. And the journey that she takes is so moving. I love this book. I love it so much. It's a debut novel. It came out in 2016, but Kathleen Glasgow just released another book, How to Make Friends with the Dark. It came out April 9th, and of course I picked it up. She's one of my favorite authors. She writes the most amazing books, and they're just perfect for springtime because you get all of that character development and growth, new beginnings in Girl in Pieces, and then in How to Make Friends with the Dark, you get a big character arc as well with a character that is dealing with grief. So I've not read How to Make Friends with the Dark yet, but when I do, y'all are gonna hear about it for sure. Next, I have a really wonderful book called Out of My Mind. It's by Sharon M. Draper. This is a middle grade book about a girl who is stuck inside her body. Everyone believes that she's functioning cognitively at a preschool level, but the fact is that she has a lot to say at 11 years old and just no way to say it. She can't talk, she can't write, and she can't walk. So for her entire life, people have just really treated her like a toddler, even though she is blossoming into a lovely young lady. So when she discovers a device that will help her get her words out for the first time ever, everything comes tumbling out, good and bad, and she must deal with the consequences of those actions. This story was such a refreshing one to read because of the character being so young, 11 years old. Melody perseveres so much. She will not let anything get her down. She will not let anything stop her, and that is exactly the kind of story that I love seeing in middle grade books. And last but not least, I have Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. Ramona has always been sure of three things. She likes girls, she's fiercely devoted to her family, and she's destined for bigger things. But it's hard when you live in a small town in Mississippi in a trailer with your dad and sister's boyfriend, with a flaky mom, and also working 2 jobs. When she finds out that her sister is pregnant, the weight of everything weighs on her more heavily than ever. And when her childhood friend Freddie comes back into town, she starts to question whether her feelings for him are just a phase or the start of something new. The characters in this book are so endearing, and it's clear that they're all going through their own situations and trying to figure out who they are in their little worlds. The majority of this book focuses on Ramona trying to figure out who she is and who she wants to become. And I love that for a character. Coming of age stories are my favorite kind of stories to read because the characters are just so likable. Julie Murphy does the perfect job of creating a character that just wants to bust out of the small town and make a bigger, lasting impression on the world, and I love that. So there you guys go. Those are some books that I think are perfect for spring. Let me know what other books you would add to this list down below in the comments. That's all I got for you today. I will see you guys next time, and until then, keep on reading.